Hi, and thanks for stopping by the Youvape.com channel here on YouTube. My name is Dean, and despite the fact that I'm not at all good at doing these videos, I've decided to press forward and create the new vapers video guide. Okay? Now, a lot of people have sort of been encouraging me to do this for quite a while, and I've been putting it off and putting it off. And the reason is, I didn't know anything about lighting, I didn't have the right type of camera, okay? And nor do I actually, do all that well in front of a camera anyway. So I kind of put it off and put it off. I was stalling and stalling, okay? And eventually I thought about a couple of things, all right? Number one, when I sort of first started, getting into vaping, everyone online in the vaping community was just, so generous with their time, okay? And they really welcomed me and all that. So doing this sort of video series in hopes of helping new vapers is the least that I can do in order to give something back to the community, all right? That's number one. And the second thing is, I remember when I went online, there was just so much information, all right? Even if you sort of exclude all of the, marketing-driven kind of inconsistencies and inaccuracies, there's still just so much of it, okay? And it even has its own lingo, I took the 24 mg liquid and I put it into the 2.8 Carto, and then I got my 18500 and put it into the VVPV, okay, and I gave it a try, and then I went back and I did some DIY, all right, and I dripped it into the Addy, and then I went back and I adjusted it by putting in a little bit more VG. All right, so as you can see, it's like a whole foreign language, all right, and that's pretty much, kind of what I was up against when I went into this. So what I'm looking to do here is to sort of condense all of that into, about 30, maybe 40 minutes of video, okay, and hopefully shorten the learning curve and sort of give you the big picture, all right, so that, if ever you're presented with, a specific model or what have you, you're going to know the basic formula, all right, and then you could just plug in the variables and you will be pretty much on your way in a solid and sure-footed fashion. Alrighty, so those are the goals. Now I suppose it's time to tell you a little bit about myself. My name is Dean. I smoked for 26 years. I first saw electronic cigarettes in the mall about 5-6 years ago. I tried it. I loved it. I thought it was the greatest thing since sliced bread. I bought the very overpriced kit, and when I went home is where sort of the cracks in the plan started showing up. Okay. The very short answer is that those devices were underpowered for me, all right? And you'll see a little bit more about that in the sort of subsequent videos, but that's what happened, and eventually I transitioned, back, all right? So the good thing that did happen that day, though, was that obviously I had set a subconscious mental note to, at some point in the future, check up on any progress that had been made with electronic cigarettes. And that point in the future for me was December of 2010. All right, I went online, I found ECF, I signed up, and I immediately started with my 20,000 questions, all right? So now's a good time to thank all those that came before me, because they welcomed me, they answered each and every one of my questions, they were just so generous with their time, all right, and just so willing to provide answers, all right? It was almost like a support group. It's like, the greatest thing. All right. So after about a week and a half there, I finally decided upon a specific model, and I ordered 2 kits of that model. And I did that because I didn't want to have, sort of any shortages or any malfunctions. Okay. And that's probably the first useful piece of information that you're getting out of this video series. And that is, always have backups for the backups. All right. One of the golden rules. So I ordered them. They arrived at my doorstep December 24th of 2010. It was around 2:30 in the afternoon. All right. This is the specific device that I received. All right. It's the exact same battery, exact same atomizer. All right. And it still works. Okay, and I'm going to be using this to represent a particular category throughout the video series. All right, so I'm doing this because this is near and dear to my heart. I'm probably going to wind up, framing this at some point. All right. And that was it. I haven't looked back, I haven't dreamed about looking back, and I wouldn't look back if you paid me. Alrighty? So that's it. We know what we're trying to accomplish, alright? We're trying to shorten the learning curve and condense everything in about 30 minutes of video, hopefully. Look, I just started recording this. I don't know how long or short it's going to wind up being, okay? My hope is to be somewhere around 30 minutes. And other than that, I told you a little bit about myself. So let's do this, alright?